right to left. Come up front, unhook it from your truck, put your level back in there, and raise this tongue to level it front to rear. Then put your stabilizers down and pull out your slide. All right, so you've got two 20-pound propane tanks. These are the gas grill size, which is awesome because if you're out camping and you run out of propane, you can do an exchange at Walmart or Lowe's or anywhere that does exchanges. And there's two of them. There's a regulator right in here. And let me do this up. I just want to make sure there wasn't any kind of bungee cord on there or something. So there's a regulator right here. Whichever one it's pointing at is the one you're using. You can leave it in the middle, which will be both.
Both on.
Right, it'll just automatically switch. I don't recommend that because when you run out, both are empty at that point. So if you do it manually and you run out, you just come out here and say, okay, I've got gas. You'll unloosen this, take that off, lift this up, and come right out. We do sell a device that goes on here called Gas Stop. And what it does, it has a valve in it. If any of these gas lines under your trailer get a nick from debris in the road or something and has a slow leak, that will detect it and shut it off right here. And it also has a little gas gauge to tell you how much gas is in there. So that's a good safety feature. I think there's a brochure on it inside.
Okay. So you need two of those.
You would need one if you do it this way, because what will happen is when you switch to that tank, just take it off here, put it on that.
Okay.
Okay, you've got your 12-volt battery here. This is a marine grade battery, deep cell. Now most of your equipment is going to run on 12-volt or gas. So your lights, your slides, stabilizer jack, your radio, all run on 12 volts. Your refrigerator can run on shore power, you know, AC power, or gas. So if you're going to stay in a place that, you know, you don't have any hookup, you can pretty much get along pretty good. Fill up your fresh water tank. You can run everything on gas or 12 volts.
How long will the gas last? Like, how long will
the gas last a long time. It'll run the refrigerator. One tank will run it probably a day or two.
Okay.
And then you got the second tank. So you could camp, you know, weekend, run the gas to the refrigerator and not have an issue. Now, the stove is gas. A lot of people around here have electric stoves, so that's a little bit of a trick working with a gas stove. Gas stoves cook better though. I've had both in the house we live on. I lost my train of thought. It'll run on gas for a while. Now your heat is gas. That's where I was going. If you run the heat, it's going to run these propane tanks down real quick. You're running the heat and the air, both heat and the refrigerator at the same time off.
But it won't run the air conditioning.
It won't run the air conditioning. Air conditioning only runs on electricity if you're plugged in. TV, air conditioning, and microwave are your three things that you have to be plugged in to run.
Okay.
So let's just circle around this way. You can leave that up, put that back on later. That cover that you pulled off, when you put this back, when we put this back on, what we're gonna do.
Guys, I need an ETA on the Ellis unit. Does anyone have an update on the Ellis unit?
As you want.
Yes, I tried calling
to
you.
put it on where this is facing the camper, so that wind doesn't get under it and pull it off. So we make a lot of money on these stupid little covers at $20 a cover.
Yeah.
You know how the world works. You've got casting storage. There's a big door right here, one just like it on the other side. Well, those boxes of your hitch work, they started at Saturday and then just put the rest in there to finish up today. This hose on the other side of your camper is a quick release you can plug this into, and then it plugs in here. You got hot and cold water on this side. The other side, you're just gonna have cold water for like.
On the other side, are there knobs?
There's no knob.
You just turn it in and
just plug it in and you use this.
Okay.
And it's just the cold water for like hosing off your feet or something. This is where you're gonna hook up your city water. This opens and that goes straight through. So you're gonna come underneath with the hose up in through here. So you can close this door.
And just a regular hose then screws into that white.
Drinking quality hose, which is in your kit.
Okay. You don't need an adapter.
Nope, it's a regular hose fitting. Okay, when you're hooked up to the city water, you want to flip this switch to city water. You've got an electrical outlet. If you're staying at an RV resort that has cable, you can hook the cable right to here. You'll turn off your amplified antenna, and then you'll have cable. If you're one of these people who has to have your satellite with you all the time, put it on a tripod out here, aim it, hook it up there, and it'll go to your TV. You've got a light right here and one on the other side. This light can be set for on, off, or motion sensor. So right now it's on motion sensor. I opened it, the light came on. When we're done here and walk away, in 30 seconds it'll turn off when there's no motion.
What's this metal thing laying in there?
This metal thing is if he gives you a hard time, you whack him with it. No, I'm kidding. This is for cranking those. Basically, this is the thing everybody gets and no one uses. What you're going to do is you're going to get a drill and you're going to get a little attachment. We sell them, or you can buy them at Lowe's or whatever, a socket. And you're going to use a drill to run those up and down so that you're not working yourself to death every time.
Can we use that to crank the slide if we're not hooked up to electricity?
You can run the slide off the 12-volt battery.
Okay.
You don't have to be hooked up to electricity.
Oh, okay.
The slide runs off the 12 volts.
So what if our battery's dead? Is there a way to crank
If
it
you
out?
plug this into your truck, you can use your truck battery. To answer your question, no, there's no way to crank the slide in.
Okay.
There is
There's
a
not a
crank.
manual.
There's a crank up under here, but your spare tire is way up in the middle there, and that crank is to crank down your spare tire.
Oh, this silver.
That silver
cranks
right.
down the spare.
Using that crank you
Using
have.
that same crank. Now a lot of people see this hole, and even some of the salespeople, they see that hole and say that's where you would crank the slide. That's where you can access. If your slide's in, you just go right through there to crank down your spare.
Okay, we thought you had to crawl under it to do the spare.
Well, you have to crawl under to get the spare, but you can crank it down just by sticking that right through this hole and cranking.
Is there an underneath thing that protects all the hoses and such?
It is a sealed underbelly. If you crouch down, you'll see there's a fiber board that runs from this metal frame to the other metal frame. The whole way. It's a sealed underbelly. That does a couple things. It protects all the wiring and hoses and all, but it also adds insulation because you've got that below your floor, so that if you're camping in the winter or something, you don't have pipes freeze or what have you. A little insulation.
So that protects like our gas line down to our refrigerator?
It should protect your gas lines and all. There are parts where the gas line goes down to go under there, and it comes out to go up. These are held up with magnets. In the old days, and even nowadays, a lot of your cheaper campers have a little clip that you always pull and break off.
It slams you in the head.
Your tire pressure's right here. They run 65 PSI. If people tell you that these are always blowing out or something, that's because the main reason they blow out is because people don't keep the right tire pressure. They don't check it before they leave. It's got maybe 45 pounds in it or 50 pounds. That sidewall gets soft, you hit a few turns, poof, and you get a blowout. Before you leave, grab your little digital gauge or whatever and check every tire, hook up and go. Your slide tracks are on the side here, which is very nice. Instead of that big mechanism underneath, if you wanted to grease it or something, boom, they're right here. This seal goes all the way up, around, and down the other side. Twice a year, you want to get a silicone seal cleaner.
Like WD-40 for silicone?
No, never use WD-40.
Because I
The
make a
WD stands for
silicone.
water disbursement. Oh, well, they do make some new stuff now, but
Yeah.
WD-40 was never meant to be a lubricant. It was a water disbursement formula. I used to work at Lowe's. If they do make silicones and they make lithium greases and all now under the WD name, so you can use that. But we sell the slide spray. It's about the same price, and it's specifically
Our
formulated
windows
for
at
this.
home, they told us about WD-40 silicone, so
Right.
I already have a can.
Okay, so if you've got the
that.
silicone spray,
Silicone
it has
spray.
to be a silicone spray, not just regular WD-40.
All right, it's brand.
Right, because that'll dry up and make this crack.
Okay.
A lot of people take it and they spray these, and then they've got to come clean the side off. What I do with mine is I get a rag, I spray it on the rag, and I kind of paint it on there, and that's much easier.
So it's
Top
just
two?
the seal.
Yes,
Top all the way around.
seal across. You have a walkable roof. While I'm pointing up, that's a rain gutter. There's a spout in each corner.
Oh, yeah.
You got a rain gutter on both sides. Your roof is arched, it's not flat. So the water will drain to this rain gutter and the one on the other side, and then you got drains front and rear where it runs off. Once a year you want to inspect this. If it looks like it's got sand or something in it, clean it out. Some people will put a little grease on it. It's designed to not need lubricating.
Okay.
But if you think it sounds like it needs lubricating, put your little lithium grease on there. And if you look at it now, you can see there's no kind of grease or anything. It's an aluminum track work, so you don't have to worry about it rusting. Now this gasket needs to remain supple like that. What happens is when it comes in, this flips over the other way. And it's kind of like a squeegee. It will squeegee off a lot of the water. When you pull it out, it'll flip this way. You pull it in, it flips the other way. Then it comes up, it butts against this. See how far my hand is out from the wall? It's normal for your slide to sit out that far.
Okay.
So if you look at it, once we close it, you'll see it'll be sitting out to the outside of this seal on purpose. I've had people say, man, something's wrong with that slide. It's not closing all the way. It is closed all the way. It just has a pretty beefy seal there. This is a light, so that you can see what you're doing if you're hooking the drain hoses up at night or early morning before the sun comes up. This is a black tank washout. So you got a couple of tanks on here. You got a black tank, which is just the water and stuff from your toilet. Dirty water. Then you got what they call a gray tank, which is gray water. It's dirty, but it's kind of clean. It has soapy water from your sink, from your shower, so it's not the real. When you drain it, we color code the handles black and gray, so you know which tank you're draining. What you're going to do is you're going to hook your stinky slinky up. I'm sorry, your drain hose. That's a slang term we use. I wouldn't do that just in case they have water in there. Okay. Now I drained all the water Saturday because it said you were going to store it till the end of March.
Well, we're taking it.
Okay. So there shouldn't be any water in there, but these are pulled, so the only thing that's stopping water is that. I'll tell you a story. When I bought my Grand Design in 2019, I bought it here. The guy who did the walks was not as awesome as I am. Pulled these, left that on. First camping trip, I came out, I undid that to hook up the stinky slinky, and I got a poop shower.
Ooh.
You ain't never seen a fat man move so fast. And you have never seen anybody actually use the outside shower to take a shower. People are like, that man's down to his underwear.
So we should push those in?
So these should always be in like that.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave them in because I know it's been drained, but
What's the blue and red hose hanging down?
never pull the blue hose. The red hose, I'm kidding. If you want to winterize it, say you're going to take it up north and you move to Michigan, and in the winter you're not going to be using it, you're going to take these two caps off. Red is your hot, blue is your cold. That will drain all the water out of the pipes.
Okay.
That's what we call a low point drain.
So if we're done camping for a month or something, we want to make sure that there's no water in our holding tank.
Well, you're going to drain these every time you're done camping.
I mean the fresh water.
The fresh water, you're pretty much not going to put water in unless you need it. Because if you fill the fresh tank with water, now you're towing around 400, 500 pounds of water that you don't need to be towing. You know, why have that extra weight?
But if we ever need to drain it.
If you need to drain it, there is a holding tank drain. I believe it's on the other side.
So that's just for the pipes, not
that's
for the
just for the pipes and all. Holding tank.
And does that screw off, or is that a cork on the end?
That screws off.
Screws
Okay,
off?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can see the threads on it right here.
Okay.
Those just screw off. Well, if you ever take those off and you put them back on, put some plumber's tape on them, because once they've come out, they don't seal right when you put them back in.
So if we're going to do a black flush,
Okay,
what do we do?
when you go camping, you're gonna pull up to Hannah Park. I like camping at Hannah Park, nice and woodsy, across the street. I'm at the beach. You're gonna pull up. You're going to hook up your water. You're gonna hook up your electric. You're gonna go inside to your toilet. You're gonna put a couple of gallons of water down in there and the bio pad. What that does is that is like Rid-X for your camper. It also has odor control, because when you flush a camper, that hole is directly into the tank. So whatever's down there you may smell coming up here. Now there is an exhaust on the roof to vent fumes and all from that hole, but you still want to, you know, do what you can. When you camp, you're going to monitor your tanks, your black, your gray, camp all weekend, you know, have a great time. When you're done, either you have a hookup right there at your campsite, or you go to what's called a dump station. On the way out, they'll have a station where you pull in, a little pull out, and they've got the drain, and they've got a hose hookup and all, so you can flush it. When you're done camping, you want to make sure you have at least a third of your tank full on the black tank. You don't ever want to leave that open, even if you have the full hookups. Because what happens...
Just hold the toilet.
Right. Yep, I'll show you all that when we go to the inside. You push it down about an inch to fill it, and then you push it down the rest of the way to flush it.
So when we're hooked up to the sewer and we're camping, we keep that shut, but maybe every other day...
You can keep this one open.
Keep that one open, that one shut. And every couple of days we come out and drain it out.
Right. Well, you've got a monitor panel inside that I'm going to show you that'll tell you how much is in there. When it gets full enough to where you think it needs to be flushed out, just come out here, give that a pull, and flush it out. The reason you don't want to leave that open, now this one you can leave open, it's just soapy water. If you leave this one open, all the water drains out, so when you do your business, you're building a poop mountain.
Okay. And you get more smell, I guess.
And you'll get a lot more smell, because you no longer have that bio pack in there in the water, helping to digest things and helping with the odor.
So when we get done camping,
Pull the black, drain it out. If you left this open while you were camping for a week, close it the day before so that you can get some water in that tank. Because here's what happens: you flush the black, you dump all the black water with your hose hooked up. Only turn this hose on to wash out that tank when that's draining.
while that's open draining.
Because if you do it and that's not open, now you're putting more water in the tank and it's going to come out your toilet. That's draining. Your hose has a clear end on it. You're going to see icky water. This hose is hooked up. It's a good strong flow of icky water. When it goes down to just a trickle and it's nice and clear, All that's draining out. All that's draining out at that point is the water from the hose. Turn the hose off, let it drain a little more, shut that down. Pull the gray. The gray is soapy water, so now you're washing that hose out a little bit.
Yeah.
That hose has caps that you put on the end. When you're done with that hose, unhook it, cap it, stick it right in here.
Awesome.
So when we're done flushing, we're going to run some water back in the tank and put one of those little squirt
No,
things.
you don't have to do that when you're done flushing.
Oh.
Now some people do. They'll leave a gallon or two in there all the time, leave one in that pod. But what you can do is just leave it, and when you get to the next camping trip, on your setup, add a couple of gallons of water and add the pods. Okay. You can store your Stinky Swinky in there,
Yeah,
so you don't have to put it in there
yeah.
with all your other stuff, because it's a Stinky Swinky. All your lighting is LED, which is awesome. Ladder will hold 250 pounds, so be careful who goes up there to sweep the roof off.
Right at the limit.
It's pre-wired for a backup camera.
Can we get one of them today?
Yes. And I highly recommend them if you're new, because when you're backing into that
Yeah,
spot.
it'd be nice to see.
Plus, this works going down the road, and you can use it like a rear view mirror.
Yes.
So if you're on a 2-lane road and you look at that thing and there's 50 cars behind you, you can pull over and let them all by. These are access panels for servicing your refrigerator. You'll know there's power hooked up. That blue light's on. When I came out here this morning, that was not on. I'm like, why don't we have power? I had to follow all these extension cords to find out where we got unplugged, because it had power last night when I left here. This goes on like a generator would. You push it on, you twist it, and then you just have this lockdown that you tighten up. This is a 30 amp power cord, so it's going to have a 3-prong on the other end. Some of your parts will only have 50 amp, so you're going to want to get an adapter if it's not already in your kit.
Okay.
From 30 to 50, which is a 4-prong. And then you're going to want, and I know that adapter's in your kit, so you have an adapter 30 amp to 15 amp, so that you can plug it into a regular household plug.
If we do plug it into the household, what can we run?
You can run everything but the air.
Everything but the air. Okay. Refrigerator.
And technically you can run the air if nothing else is turned on. So it's an either or kind of thing. You say, well, I want to run the air and I'm going to leave the refrigerator, the TV, the microwave, everything else turned off, you can do it. But if you turn some other stuff on, you'll blow the circuit breaker at the house. You'll trip it, I should say, not blow it, trip the circuit breaker, and you know you're just drawing too much power.
And you said that if our camper battery runs down, all we've got to do is plug it into the truck.
Right,
to be able to operate stuff.
When it's plugged into your truck, there's power coming that way. Let's go back over here, because there is something that I don't know if you asked a question and I forgot to show you, or if I just forgot to show you, but let's double back for a second. When you're not using it, you want to do this. This is a battery disconnect. Twist it, pull it out. Oh, that's right, we're plugged in.
We're plugged in.
So nothing can drain your battery dead.
So when you get to a campsite, you pull that out?
No. You can leave that in all the time when you're hooked up, but if you're going to store it,
storage will take it off.
For more than a week or two, take this off, because there are things you'll forget to turn off, like the TV antenna has an amplifier that runs on a 12 volt. So if it's stored for a month and that little amplifier is running the whole time trying to get TV signal, it drains your battery. This cuts it off. And there's a little cap. There's a cap for that. These will twist a lot, and then you can key lock it if you don't want anybody going in there. But that battery disconnect is what you're going to want to do when you store it. And yes, when it's plugged into your truck, everything is running off of the truck's power, and it's actually charging that battery just like.
Does the truck have to be running?
Yes.
Okay.
It's because what happens is it's using the alternator to charge that battery just like it does your truck's battery. Okay. This is your furnace exhaust. This gets hot, so on a cold winter day, it's a great hand warmer.
Is there anything can rodents get up in there?
Yes, you're beating me to
So
it.
what do we do?
Mud daubers love to set up nests in these.
Yeah.
We sell little screens that just slip on with springs that cover that
Okay, we don't want
to
to.
keep that out. They also like to get in here. This is your hot water heater.
Do you sell a screen for that too?
And we sell a screen for this
Okay.
too. Your hot water heater is just like your house. It has the pressure release. So if this ever pops, it's because the pressure built up too much. But now, if you think about your house going through an earthquake, how everything would shake apart, this goes through an earthquake every time you're driving it down the road. So what happens is this will sometimes shake a little loose. If you get a little dripping, just come out here and tap it, and that'll stop that.
Is there something in here that we're supposed to replace once a year?
No. So your older hot water heaters had an anode that went in through here,
Okay.
and you unscrew this and replace it once a year. This does not have that. It's an aluminum heater. But this is a drain net at this point. So if you want to drain the hot water tank, you would unscrew this plastic cap. And again, a winterizing type thing. Unscrew the plastic cap, drain the hot water heater.
And to fill the hot water tank before we use it, do that right here?
Nope. Hot water tank's automatic. Just like your house, you don't have to fill the hot water heater. If you've got city water hooked up, turn on the hot water tank, hot water goes right in there. If you're using your water from your potable water or your onboard tank, there's a pump you turn on. It'll fill the hot water as well as your faucets. That's inside, and I'm going to show you all that when we get to the control panel. This is that other spray port I told you about. Plug that hose in
And it's ready to go.
Right, if you're out and you got dirt all over your feet before you go in, you can hose them off here. Now you do want the campsite mat so that you don't do what we're doing right here. But whatever you walk through, whatever you go through is going to end up in that camper with you. The onboard water tank, right here. Now that's specifically too big to screw a hose onto, because we don't want you screwing it on and putting so much pressure in there that you damage the tank.
So how do you fill it?
You just put a hose right in here like my finger is, turn it on.
Hold on.
It'll fill up the tank. If you forget about it, water will be pouring out here and you won't pressurize and pop that tank. Now out here, you can get a little TV. There is a cable hookup. You can either get a TV mount. Gordon, yes. You can get a TV mount for here. I didn't do that because I'm weird about drilling holes in my camper.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
So I've got a little table, and I bought this cutest little 19-inch TV at Best Buy for like $59. I put it on the plastic table, I plug it in, I hook it up, I'm watching the Gators.
So this is just regular.
2 hours.
That's an outlet. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And all this covers it and protected.
Is there a gas grill hookup?
Yep, right here.
Oh,
This is your gas grill hookup. You're gonna need to get a hose with a quick release. It snaps on there, you pull this forward, the gas is on.
Okay. It's
You
got
push
on
it
off.
back, the gas is off.
do you generally use that, or do you use the little individual tank?
No, those individual tanks are horrible, they're disgusting.
Are they?
So if you get the Weber grill or something that uses those tanks, what you've got to do is take the regulator off, and you can buy a hose with a quick release that screws right on where that tank regulator went, and you plug it in there. That's what I have. I have the Weber with the fold-up
And you
stand,
just
which works
plug it
really
straight
nice. It's lightweight aluminum, so it fits right up in here and it's not too heavy. When you're towing a camper and all, you want to be mindful of weight, because you know when you put stuff up in here, you put a lot of weight in here. A lot of that's transferring to your tongue weight. See the little green caps? Nitrogen filled. The nitrogen filled will work better. It doesn't expand and contract like air would. If you look at, you got nice alloy wheels, and the spread between these wheels is actually further than some of your campers, which makes it tow better. This is the other side of the pass-through storage. We're about to go see the fun stuff. You've got a motion sensor light in here that's not turned on. That's on, that's motion. So the light in the middle is a 0. One side has a 1, one side has a 2. 1 is on, 0's off, 2 is motion.
So we just leave it on 2.
And that's what I do with mine all the time. Again, this also has the magnet, it's nice and strong. You got this huge awning, and you've got your outside speakers. Your stereo's Bluetooth, so you can sit out here with, Pandora or iHeart or something, and run all the music through the stereo.
Do we have to open this stove vent every time?
No, stove vent is automatic. Now that's the over-the-range hood.
We don't have to snap it out?
Nope. You can see right there. Now you can, you can snap it closed if you were going to store it.
Okay.
But usually you just leave it like that.
Things out, you need to close it.
I've never closed mine in 2 years and nothing's ever got in there. I have the screens on the other stuff, which I did right away because I get mud daubers all around my house. There's a long LED light under here, and there are blue lights in your speakers there that'll come on. Your aluminum steps are nice because A, they're lighter, and B, they won't rust like some of your camper steps would do.
Do they lock closed, or they just stay closed from the rain?
They fall into they don't lock, but they fall into a position where they stay closed.
Okay.
Now your door is a friction door. If you feel it, there's some pressure on it, so that it stays where you put it. If it's real windy, you can't open it all the way and hook it with that. And I gotta tell you, I used that one time in my whole owning my camper, and since I never used it, the first thing I did when I went to close the doors, I ripped that right off the wall. So, unless it's real windy.
Or the trailer's not
No,
level.
that's kind of rubbery.
Don't use that. Well, that's just like plastic, and I busted it right here.
Yeah.
This part stayed on. You can buy those, and not really expensive, but I felt really dumb. I felt dumb. The only time I ever used it, I broke it. It's like, I won't ever break that snap. Oh well.
Yeah.
Come on in. That's a big handle. Oh, let me show you this. This is spring loaded. You put it like that, and now when you're traveling, it'll hold your door closed if for some reason it pops open. Now, I always recommend putting the deadbolt on. You can lock this handle and
So that was the deadbolt.
Same key.
And then for some unbeknownst reason, it'll also flip that way. I never understood why it goes that way, but maybe some trailers the doors on that side and these are universal. It's hard to say. But give me just a second. I'm going to turn on those lights and show them to you. You know what? Come on in. I changed my mind. We'll turn those lights on in a second. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn your air on. It's getting a little warm in here. So this works like your home unit. You cycle through. You've got your fan, your cooling, and your heat. And I'm going to put it on cooling, but I'm going to raise it to 35 degrees. Let's just put it at 70. Now this is the fun part. Those are your air vents.
Okay.
I'm going to close this door so we can get rid of some of that noise. All right, beautiful. When you come in the door, right here is a switch. You can turn on those overhead lights. If you're going to be away, this light is a motion sensor. See? So you leave that on. Okay. That way if you're out,
There's an on-off.
Yeah, there's an on-off and motion. Right there's off. Now you do want to turn it off when you're in the camper because every time you move it comes on. So if you're sitting there watching TV and you reach over to grab your soda, it comes on. You put the drink down. You don't have to wear that if you don't want to. They make me wear it. I don't make anyone else wear it though.
Which brand is that either?
I have a 2250 RK, which is rear kitchen design.
Oh, okay. What's the MKE stand for? Murphy bed.
Mid kitchen.
Mid kitchen.
Yeah. So your kitchen's in the middle. But they have designations like mine. Some of them are RL, which is rear living. Some of them are BH. Anytime you see one that says BH, it's a bunkhouse. This has a tremendous amount of room for such a small camper. So your 17 MKE, that means that the box, not including the tongue and all, because it's like 21 feet including the tongue and all, but your actual box is 17 feet. To have this much usable space in a 17-foot box and have this long of a counter.
Yeah, that's what we like this one.
This is a great floor plan. Oh, gas stop. That's what I want to show you. Remember I told you about the thing that'll turn off your gas? This is a little brochure on it if you want to look that up. We got, I got you this, which has the general RV.
So we can get that today too?
All of this is yours. You can buy that today, absolutely.
Yeah, that and the screens.
Absolutely.
Backup cable.
So I'm going to start here and I'm just going to kind of go in a circle and show you everything. You've got a TV. Your TV can be pulled out and turned. And you've got all your hookups right here, easy to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Up top here, whoops, I'm sorry, you come around. You'll see a little red light and another red button.
Uh-huh.
That's that amplifier I was talking about. Right now we're just watching the antenna. There's an outlet up there also.
What's the other one? I don't have my glasses.
The other one was for satellite.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember I told you you can hook the satellite up outside, it'll pump it right in here.
Okay.
Now the cable is the antenna, so you would turn off the antenna if you wanted to use a cable at a campground.
Does it have an on-off switch, or do you just?
Yep, the red button's the on-off switch.
Okay.
And then there should be a red light up there. Go ahead and push it if you want.
Lights off.
Now you don't have a signal. That's how good that amplifier works.
Do you boost that amplifier?
It's a boost. It's an amplified antenna.
Do you have to hit something to boost it, or is it?
Well, you just hit.
Okay.
When you turn that booster off, that amplifier off, we lost our signal.
Okay.
But let me hit this button here. These are all the channels that it found locally, over the air.
So when you get somewhere,
you know, when you get somewhere, you can scan, find all the local channels, and you're ready to go. You know, you can catch you some news or whatever. Also, it has a signal indicator built into the TV. It's a smart TV. Roku is built in, which is the #1 smart format out there, or #1 streaming format. Your volume and mute are on the side, nice small remote.
Mm-hmm.
You've also got your stereo, which has a remote. Okay, so your stereo, you've got speakers inside, speaker is A. Turn it up just a minute. Speaker A is inside. Speaker B is outside, or you can do both. This is AM, FM, CD, DVD, USB. It's got all the initials.
Yeah, AUX.
So you can play music off of a stick. It has Bluetooth built in, so you can play music off of your playlist on your phone or a streaming app on your phone. This is already hooked to the TV, so if you plug in a DVD, you can watch it right on that TV.
How do you switch it back and forth from TV to radio? When you're done with the DVD, do you have
When
to
you
do
plug in
something.
a DVD, it'll switch automatically, but there's a button here that says disc, FM, AM, Bluetooth. For example, if I wanted Bluetooth, I'd just push that.
Okay.
If I wanted to play the USB, a disc, there's no disc in it, AM, FM. Then you've got your presets, and this actually has a clock built in with an alarm clock. So
Does it set itself like phones?
No.
You gotta set the time.
The TV will set itself. Well, now that I got it on Eastern time zone, it was on Samoan time. I'm like, why is it 2 in the morning? But this one you'll have to manually set. So what you'll do is you'll turn it off, and then you'll set the clock once it's off. Hour. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it has to be on to set the clock. Hour. So it does have, there's a sleep timer also. So if you want to play some music and go to sleep. And there's a manual for that in here. There's a manual for your refrigerator, your camper. All the manuals are right in here. There are legs for your TV if you ever decide to replace it, take it out and put it in the house or something. These things I'm going to show you in a minute. This is about your refrigerator. There's 2 of those.
You turn the radio down. So
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks.
Is it Blu-ray?
No, just DVD. So you'll have to go to the antique store and get you some DVDs. And there's your air. It just turned off because we reached our 68 degrees. This is that panel I kept telling you about when we were talking about the tanks. I can turn on the ceiling lights. I can turn on the outside light. If I'm using my potable water, my onboard water tank, I turn on the pump so I can pump water out of it. If I want to use my hot water, I can turn on electric if I'm plugged in. I can turn on gas if I'm not, or if I really want quick recovery, I can run both at the same time.
Are we connected to water right now?
We're not connected to water. Your fresh tank is empty. Your black tank is empty. Your gray tank is empty. It would be up like that if, and it's funny, these 2 are just the opposite of that one. See how that's red because it's empty? These will turn yellow up here and then red up there. Because this being empty is your red zone, that being full is your red zone. Your battery's fully charged. This is your Bluetooth connect for those, let me just turn it off. That'd be easier, if you don't mind. Your Bluetooth connect is right here. That is the Bluetooth name and password. Everything you run here, you can download the app, and you can run it all right from your phone. So if you're sitting outside and your wife says, we've been camping 4 days. Are we good on the tank? You can say, let me look. Okay, yeah, we're good. Not have to get up, come in here and look at this control panel. This is motion sensitive. It's lit up right now because we're over here. If we went over there and sat down, in 15 seconds that'll go dark.
Was the water pump on?
The water pump's on.
But there's no water.
Right, so there's nothing to pump. And the electric and gas hot water's on. I'm turning all that off because we don't have any of that hooked up. Ceiling lights, you'll be able to run those from the remote app as well. And your exterior lights. This is where you're going to bring your awning in and out.
So the exterior light, is that the awning light?
That's the one under the awning. Let's turn that on. Now that one will work if you want to take a look out here. You can use that light, go ahead, whether the awning's out or not. Now just look straight up, you'll see the awning light. And there's blue lights in the speakers themselves.
Yep, they're on.
He is applying protective coating to that one, so I'm going to close this so we don't end up with that in here. Now you've got an outlet right here, fire extinguisher right here. There's a heater vent right there for the area. They're not on the floor like some of your campers where you step on that registry and bend it, or you drop a quarter down, and or you drop a piece of plastic and it smells like it's burning plastic forever. Each side of your bed will have an outlet down bottom, or I should say each side of your couch, because there's more to be found. Will have an outlet down bottom. You have an outlet over here for the people that are sitting here. This is removable. Now what I do, I have the exact same setup in my camper. I turn it this way to make it easy to get in. Turn it back. Honey, put my food right here.
Where do you store your table when you're driving?
Right there.
You don't have to take it off?
Nope.
It'll
Does it bounce down the road?
Nope, it doesn't. It's hard to take off,
into
actually.
This.
Oh, so you don't take it off.
I don't ever take mine off. You got an armrest, 2 more cup holders. Watch the bottom. Accent lighting. Cup lights. I have massage with 3 different levels. And I have heat with 2 different levels. And this is a recliner. You can kick back. Watch that TV. Now what's nice with the TV being high is you can lay back and see the TV. You don't have to kink your neck up. So if the TV were mounted down low, you'd have to kink your neck up to watch it, or put a pillow behind your neck or something. So if you're going to recline, I tend to like to do it that way, because my wife's dog likes to sit right here, so I don't really use that as much as some people.
It's got a vibrating massage there.
And then when you want to eat,
Look at the little latch.
that is 2 USB ports.
Okay.
So they're located there where you could use them on this couch or on your theater seating.
And this one doesn't have that.
No, ma'am. That's the only one for this living area, but there's more. I'm going to show you. You got a ton of storage. You got your wardrobe here. You got storage there. You got drawers underneath. You've got 2 drawers here for clothes. Hanging clothes. Nice deep hanging storage. Okay, so I keep saying there's more. I'm going to show you the more. The bed is really easy to put down. This flips all the way over. First of all, if you're worn out, just plop.
So it will support a
Yeah, you
person
can
as
sleep
well.
on it just like that. If you're say you're traveling and you don't feel like putting the whole bed down, but you just need to rest for a little while.
Well, without the slide out.
Oh, what? Yeah, you'll have to put the slide out.
But that works on the battery, so it should.
Yeah, you can pull into a campground, put that out real quick, and lay down. We're going to put that in to show you how much room you have with it in.
Can we just pull the slide out part way enough to lower that?
You could.
And then it's no
You could.
problem. No problem sitting on the recliners if it's only part way out?
No.
Okay.
No. So, that comes down. And then you grab your mattress and you pull it down. Now is the more. Each side has a little cubby. Each side has 2 power outlets and 2 USB ports. Or what I like to say, you could have 2 CPAP machines in here while charging your phone.
Yeah.
So there's 2 USBs on each side.
Yep, and 2 power outlets. And then you got beautiful accent lighting up there.
Nice.
You can put clothes on these shelves or whatever. Go ahead and hit that button again. First tap, you got blue accent. Second tap, you got a reading light on both sides.
Do we have to worry about these when you fold the bed up?
Nope. You come with a Serta mattress. It's a foam mattress. There are no springs in there to poke you in the middle of the night. It's more comfortable than most of your RV mattresses. It's certainly not a home mattress because it's only that thick. What I did with mine, and I don't know if you can do it with this because it folds up, is I put a memory foam topper on mine. Okay, so the bed folds up to this point. That's why
So
that
safe.
doesn't matter. So you're going to grab it in the middle of the wood, and you're going to fold it up, push the bed up in there, and then there's a latch right here. It goes like that. Now that latch is designed to be back that way. When I came in, whoever used it last put it this way.
Oh yeah.
You can do it that way, but no, that's
It's leaning forward a little.
kind of leaning forward a little. So what I do is I grab my latch, come back, and hook it in. Flip that back over, see how easy that is.
What's wrong?
Now when you're sitting on here, don't forget you do have an armrest and 2 cup holders.
It's pretty comfy.
Keep in mind, you're roughing it, you're camping.
we're glamping.
Okay, so you know the new term, glamping. Yes. Any of your friends who tent camp will now tell you that you're not really camping, you're glamping. Camping means using leaves to wipe your butt. No, you know what? Mine has a fireplace, a little electric fireplace. Last month, a friend of mine was out camping. He was by the fire pit in the rain. He said a real camper sits by the fire in the rain, and I posted on Facebook, a real camper sits in the camper by the fireplace watching the rain.
Staying dry. So how do we turn those lights on under there?
A hammer will take care of it, the little blue button.
Okay, so that's the seating area.
Right.
Because there was one over here too.
And
Okay.
those lights on the cup holder stay on all the time?
Those 3 lights stay on all the time. They're so that you can see the controls.
Okay.
They're the lighted controls, which by the way, see those went off because we're no longer over there.
Okay.
But if I were to walk over here,
Yeah.
it comes on.
Came on when you know.
Okay, this thing, you already opened all these, you got lots of storage. A camper this size, you got more storage than some of these giant campers. You got tons of drawers, you got tons of counter space. You got an outlet right here if you want to put your coffee pot there. You got this for drying off your dishes. This comes out and has a sprayer, just like your home.
Oh, it says it's been winterized. Has it been unwinterized?
It's been unwinterized, yes.
Okay, good.
So they're made up north. They're made in, I want to say Indiana, maybe Michigan.
So we're good
No, they're
to
made in
use the
Michigan.
water now.
You're
We
good
don't
to
have
use the
worry
water.
about flushing.
Yeah, so what we do is we flush out all the winterizing stuff. We fill all the tanks up. We make sure that there's no leaks in the gray tank, the black tank, the freshwater tank. And then we drain it all out except for the fresh water, which was in there Saturday. But when they canceled the Saturday appointment, I drained the fresh water because I didn't want to leave it in there if you're going to store it. Because it originally said you were going to store it till the end of March, and I didn't want to leave that water sitting in there.
So, in your camper, living in Florida, do you ever winterize your
Never
trailer?
winterized it.
Okay.
I've had 3 different travel trailers. I've had a pop-up and 2 travel trailers, and I've never
Yeah.
winterized one of them. Because winterizing is, hey, it's going to be 0 for 2 months. If you say, oh, well, you know, it's dropping down to 25 tomorrow night, you don't need to winterize it. You've already drained all the water out, so there's really nothing in there to freeze and break a pipe. Okay, air conditioning controls I showed you. You got a plug here. You've got a microwave, which everybody knows how to use, so I'm not going to go over that. Now this would come down, and that's just to give you surface area to work on and all. This is not for cooking on. You'd be surprised people try that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a gas stove at
The
home.
glass pops and they're done.
Yeah.
You got a light and a real exhaust fan. You already saw the exhaust outside. So when this fan's blowing, that little flap pushes open automatically unless you snap it in that closed position. You've also got a light over here so that when you're working in this area at night, you can see. You've got an outlet over here, so if you say, well, I want my coffee pot over here, or I want to put a margarita machine right here, there's an outlet. You got more storage up in the corner here. Grand Design is awesome about the storage.
So on the stove, I have a gas stove at home,
okay,
but it's at home, so it's everything lights on its own. Does this all light on its own?
Yeah. See? Light.
Okay.
So you got the blue lights here, and then you got your oven light, and these will come on as well.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I've showed you that, these do not light on their own. That's the main difference between here and home. This thing, you're going to spin it. See the sparks? So this light's more like a gas grill.
Okay.
You're going to pick one you want. Now if you watch that blue, that one's now on.
There it goes.
Nice.
If I turn that one on.
Feel that heat.
If I turn that one on. Now, the oven is interesting. So what I'm going to do, nope, come over here and look. See, I'm going to show you don't have to do that. If you look down at it and use this like a mirror.
There, I saw it.
You see the flash?
Yeah.
Turn on. Let a little gasket up there. There's your pilot light. You'll see a little blue light. You can turn this to where you can use that like a mirror. Once that pilot light is on, you're ready to set your temperature. So if you use this like a mirror to where you see that flashing, you'll see the pilot light replace the flashing, and you don't have to get down and look up under there.
Okay.
Your cooking surface is from here to here.
Okay.
So it's literally a cookie surface. That's about all you can fit in there. They're not going to put
Biscuits.
a turkey. You can make biscuits, frozen pizzas, stuff like that. But I like the fact that now even if that's off, if I turn one of these on, it glows orange.
Good.
Never turn these on and go make the bed, obviously. You'd be surprised. There are things I have to say because people will tend to do silly things.
What's the little plastic thing?
Make sure that's cooled off and then close this. Don't put your hand on the hot metal, just wave your hand if you don't feel the heat.
Make sure it's
You
cooled
can
off
close it.
first.
Right.
Okay.
You've got a smoke detector back there in your bedroom. A smoke detector right here in your kitchen. This one's designed to go off anytime you make toast. If it's like mine. My toaster, every time I turn it on, this goes off. So what I do is I turn on this fan, I open this fan, and I turn that on. Now these cannot be used in the rain the way that they are now. We do have vent covers that go over them that protect the seals and that, and they're open in the back to where you can use that in the rain. I'll show you that when we get over to the parts department.
And what was this down here?
This is your carbon monoxide and propane detector.
Oh, okay.
So if you're sleeping and you hear this, get out.
Okay.
Because propane has an odor, but sometimes when you sleep, you don't really notice odors.
So then should you go turn off your propane tanks?
I would get out, I'd go turn off the propane tanks. I'd see if that stops. If that continues going off, it's not propane. If these go off, whoop, it's over here. There's a test button on it. Another test button. Well, anyway, if these go off, get out also.
There we go.
You have to hold it. I kept pushing it. You have to actually hold it a minute. If one of those goes off, get out also. Now, this is the silliest emergency fire exit ever because you're actually closer to the door. When that goes off, roll out of bed, jump out the door.
But you can bust out that window.
Right, you can pull those two levers,
Yeah.
and if you push that, the entire window falls out on the ground. So you're going to need a $400 window. Now, that's not bad because if you've got a fire and you push that out, you're getting a whole new camper anyway, so the $400 window doesn't matter. So that's really if you're sitting here and you look over and well, jump. Any other time, that's going to be closer if you're in the bed or on this. This thing, I love teasing people. No, I'm kidding. When you're storing your refrigerator, a lot of campers, the refrigerator gets stinky smelling, musty smelling. You put this in here, and then you take this, and it snaps right there to hold your refrigerator open just an inch. I'm having trouble with it because it's gonna be one of those days. Try it again. There we go. Okay. That holds your refrigerator open in a couple inches. You don't travel with those because that could easily be pulled out.
Okay, that's just when you're storing.
That's just for storing it so that your refrigerator doesn't get musty.
So, okay, if we're going down the road with food in our refrigerator, does it run off?
The gas has to be on.
Okay.
It'll run off the propane.
It doesn't run off the battery.
It does not run off the battery. It's not a 12 volt. It's either shore power or gas. And I was just about to show you that.
And you don't have any problem with leaving the refrigerator on as you're going on to?
Now these type of refrigerators take a long time to cool down. If you're going to go camping Saturday morning, you're going to hook it up and leave town. Friday, plug it into an outlet at the house using your adapter. Turn this on. Get it nice and cold. Now I'm going to give you my secret, patented secret. You can't tell anybody other than the hundreds of people I keep telling. I get bottled water. I drain a little bit out of each one. I freeze them so that I don't have to leave my propane on when I'm traveling. And I'm not draining all my propane, keeping the refrigerator cold. I turn it on the night before. I get it nice and cold. I bring out a half a dozen bottled waters, put them in there, and now it's a cooler. Plus, when I get where I'm going, I've got a half a dozen bottled waters I'm taking anyway because I don't like campground water.
So we're thinking about like taking a trip out west, being gone 3 weeks.
Okay, in that case, you're going to leave the propane on because the cooler thing only works for, you know, if you're taking a 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive. My daughter lives down in Bradenton, and I'll treat that like a cooler between here and there. The other thing is find a store and buy your groceries when you get near where you're going to be stopping. And, you know, buy a couple of days at a time.
Yeah, because we're going to stop and go and stop and, you know, it's a couple nights here, a night here.
Right.
So that's what concerned me about what do we do with our food, because
right. So you're going to leave the gas on, and there's no problem leaving the propane on when you're traveling.
Okay.
And you're going to leave your refrigerator on. So that brings up this. So I'm going to show you refrigerator controls. This is your main power. When the power's on, if you leave it on auto, it's going to use either AC or gas, depending on what's available. I got to turn it back off because I got it all messed up by turning the power off and then right back on. If it's using AC, that light's going to come on. If it's using gas, there it is. That light's going to come on. So if you leave it on auto, that's the best place to go. This is your temperature. 1's the warmest, 5's the coldest. You're always going to leave it on 4 or 5 because you want to keep your stuff nice and cold. If you wanted to make it go on gas only, push that button. Now it's on gas.
Okay.
So even plugged in, I'm still using my gas.
Okay.
I'd rather not.
That's why I say always go to auto, because if you have electricity, why use your gas?
But in our case right now, we're taking it home. We're not going to go camping. We would just turn it off.
So you're going to turn this off.
Instead of auto. Because otherwise while it's sitting in storage, it's using our gas.
Right.
So at the house, plug it into the house, you can run the refrigerator.
You can run the refrigerator, the TV, the microwave,
just don't run the AC.
But the air.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, if you turn all of that off, you can probably run just the air. But, you know, usually in the driveway, you're going to want to run the refrigerator and all, get it ready for the night before. I mean, the day, the next day. Okay, coming down here. Walkie-talkies are new, and that's why I keep fiddling with it. These are your circuit breakers. Whoop, you all right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. These are your circuit breakers. These are your, oh, let's do this. Circuit breakers and your 12-volt fuses. So all the stuff that runs on 12 volts, you'll check those, like your lights and all. There's a little fan on there. There's an inverter in here. So now that we're plugged into the wall, the inverter's running and charging your battery and all. Also providing the 12-volt power for the lights.
Do they give us some extra fuses?
Nope.
Or will we need to get some?
They're standard automotive fuses, so you can get some if you want.
Have you had to replace them?
Never replaced a fuse. Okay. I don't know of anybody who said they're always blowing fuses, so it's really not an issue. Okay. If you blow a fuse, run by an AutoZone or something. There's another heater duct right there. So you got one up there, one over here, and one in the bathroom. That gas heat will bake you out of here. Some more drawers. They give you the storage on these things. Okay, or you in the military. Okay, so you're gonna take a military shower when you're camping. And it's not because you don't want to use a lot of water, it's because you can't store a lot of water. Your gray tank will only hold so much water. What's going down the drain. There's a light switch right here. Come on in the bathroom, or outside the bathroom. And there's a fan switch. You can open that and run the fan. Towel rack, more holders for towels or robes or what have you. When you want to do your business, you're gonna pump a little water in there. Now it's not gonna pump because I have the pump off and I don't think there's much water in the tank. Go ahead and open that and you'll see a button that says water pump. The third one in. Okay, thank you. Now watch what it does. Now it's pumping water out of the tank. And we're out of water. Okay. When you're done, you fill that up by pushing it down about an inch. When you're done, dump it down in the tank. It'll always drop a little bit of water in there to keep that seal from drying out. Now you got nice storage in here. You can roll up some towels, fold up towels, whatever, put them in this storage. You've got storage underneath here. You got storage right behind here where you could put the $89 gas trash can. It's this big, $89.50. Plastic. More storage up here. Here is your toilet paper holder. We don't mount them. If we mounted here, you didn't like it. If we mounted there, the other guy who bought one didn't like it. If we mounted it back there, it's in the way. So we put it up here and we say, have fun, put it wherever you want. You got a medicine cabinet. By the way, that's a lot of medicine.
Hey, Chucky.
Yeah.
And you've got a mirror. Your shower
Yes, sir.
has a skylight
Hey,
so that taller
see you real
people
quick.
don't hit their head on the roof.
Is it got a fan up there?
Alright, I'll be there in
No.
a second, thanks.
Okay, just
You've got a fan
stick
here.
my head up there. Okay.
Yeah, you've got this fan
There's the
here.
fan.
That's just to give you some headroom and some light. This has an on-off switch. You're going to turn on your hot and cold, get the water to the temperature you like. You're going to turn it off. You're going to turn it on. You're going to get all wet. Turn it off. You're going to soap up. Turn it on. Wash all the soap off. Turn it off, and you're done.
Got it?
Got it.
This curtain is a plastic membrane. There's a squeegee on the other side as it goes in that squeegees the water off. It's got a strong spring in here. When you open it, hold it and bring it back. I'm just going to pull it from here. That was from here. If you let go over there,
Slam.
it's going to slam, something's going to break.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's ever broke on mine, but a lot of potential for something to break. On the inside, so I'm pushing it right now. So from the inside, you're going to pull it toward you and then roll it back in. And there's a handle on the inside.
And it looks like you could always install a plastic shower curtain if it did break.
You could. You could. This works great though.
Yeah.
This works really good. This is an access to the plumbing underneath there. Always have this door hooked when you're traveling. And then when you're not traveling, there's a magnet here. To hold
So
it
traveling, you want to open and hooked.
open and hooked so it doesn't slam. Open, close every time you step on the gas.
So can we do the slide in while we're in here?
Yep.
Does this have a filter?
It does have a filter right up under here. Now they're designed to be cleaned. So you pop this off. There's a filter on this side and a filter on this side. Just pop this screen off. They're designed to be clean. Some people don't like cleaning them, putting them back in. You can actually buy replacements, and they're not that expensive. It's like a 4-pack for $12 or something. Okay, so stand right, scoot over just a little bit. You're perfect.
I see this.
When you're done camping, let's see, who wants to do the slide? I ain't doing the slide. Come on over here, mister. Button that says slide, simple, out and in. So push and hold in until you hear the sound change. Okay. Are you pushing? Now here's the nice thing. This camper is usable with the slide in. With the exception of the bed. The sound's going to change. And kind of,
is that all the way
go.
in?
That's all the way in.
Wow, that's nice.
So if you wanted to use it,
There's still room here.
you can come up, you can sit down, you can cook, you can use the refrigerator, you can use the bathroom.
Take a nap in the
The
recliner.
only thing you can't use is the bed.
Will they recline now?
Don't recline. I don't know, your feet might hit here, so be careful if you recline.
Yeah.
So a shorter person could recline and take a nap, or put that armrest up and lay down on that couch and take a nap. But that's what's nice. A lot of campers, when the slide is in, you can't get to the bathroom. And this is kind of the main thing you want to be able to get to when you're traveling. So if you're taking a cross-country trip, put some water in your freshwater tank. If you're out in the middle of Texas where it's, 700 miles across and you're in the middle of that, and it says your next rest stop is 200 miles away, and you gotta go, just pull over, come back here, turn on that water pump, and all your tanks, everything's there, you're ready to go. You don't have to pull the slide out or anything. It's like having your own portal that you can hook behind your truck.
So we should, if we're going out west like that, we do want to have water.
Right. If you're traveling like that, a long trip, you want to keep some water in the tank. You don't have to fill it up, but a third or half or whatever.
Where is the water tank? Underneath us?
It's underneath. All the tanks are underneath us.
I've seen trailers where it's under the couch.
Under the couch, or I've seen them where they have storage under the bed, and you lift it up, and there's a big water tank there. All of this is underneath.
Okay.
Now, if you've got your refrigerator running, say you're driving across Texas, and it's lunchtime, and you don't feel like waiting to that town that's 3 hours away. I use Texas because I've driven across it, and God, that's a long, boring drive. So, pull over. Pull into a rest stop or something. Come back here. Your refrigerator's running. Make yourself a sandwich. Get yourself a soda. Turn on the radio.
Just not
back,
AC.
have some lunch.
Just don't have AC.
Just don't have AC unless you buy a generator.
But you can open the windows.
Now, did you say when we were outside that you were going to show us when we were inside how to drain the water from the fresh water tank? Was there something?
I was going to show you how all the...
Okay.
You were asking how we tell how much water's in there, and that's
right.
when I said
Okay.
that.
So, say we're going out west. We've got half a tank of water. We get somewhere we're going to stay. We want that water out.
You don't have to drain it.
But if we want to.
If you wanted to.
How do we do that?
there should be a low point drain. I'll show you when we get back outside.
Okay.
Yeah, what I was talking about, you were asking how you know if there's water in there or not.
Oh,
I
in
was
the
saying
pump,
these controls
yeah.
will show you
So it goes
how much water
green,
there is.
yellow, and then the top button would be red.
So your black and gray, as it goes up, the next to last one is going to be yellow, and the top one is going to be red, meaning you're full. The fresh water is the opposite. It's green, yellow, and then red, meaning you're empty. Because it's just the opposite. You want that to be full versus empty. You want these to be empty versus full.
So we should probably put some fresh water in it.
Yeah. You want me to put some water in there?
Yeah.
I'll pump some water in there.
Yeah, let's...
You sit back and enjoy. You want to open that back up? You can.
All right.
As a matter of fact, go ahead and open that back up because you're going to need to feel that button. I don't think you were pushing hard
It
enough.
must not have been.
There you go. And now go all the way out and hear the sound change.
Just a heads up, all DS's, everything forwards, having an Echo Pro
There you go.
installed, so you can't go into it for about 20 minutes. It's
You've
not
got
to go
a
out
reading
till
light
2
right
o'clock.
here. If you're sitting there and you want to read, I don't think I showed you that. All of these windows have pull shades, just like a home would have. They're blackout.
Yeah, they are dark.
Just pull and let go. Now you broke it.
Uh-oh. Come on!
It'll do it.
Is that
I was
something
gonna say,
we
just
need
give a
to,
little push, kind of help it out there.
we need to get that adjusted before we leave?
Well, that's just kind of normal. Some of them have more spring tension than others.
Yeah. How's this one doing?
Now you don't want to pull it down past here. You're kind of pulling them down to there, and you're reeling them all the way out. It's my jam if doing that. Pull it down to the bottom of the middle frame. There you go. And then up. Pull and let go, and it goes right up. Pull and let go. Quick jerk.
Because the shades are something we're going to use all the time. Is that something we need to contact Grand Design about?
No, I'll put it in. I don't know if they can adjust that or not.
They
But
may
I'll
need
put
to
it in here.
replace it.
How can I tell if the heater is on this?
So it'll get brighter. That's full heat, low heat, and off.
Off, okay. I want it off.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I don't think I'll ever use that. Cool seats.
Well, in the winter, that's nice.
Yeah.
And also the antenna, how do we make the antenna go up and down?
It doesn't go up and down.
Okay.
It's
It
stationary.
stays. Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Miscellaneous.
I can see they're working on the truck.
Cool. What do I call that? Full shade. Slide out. Squeeze those and just lift.
Got it.
And there'll be a place that locks in.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another one all the way open.
Okay.
And slide out.
And this big one, that one, this will open.
It'll slide right to left. Pull that out and then slide it to your right.
Yeah.
Slide out.
Check.
Takes 2 hands.
Fine, Chuck. I paid cap.
Alright people, we got new walkie-talkies. Stop playing.
Did you try that one though?
Yeah.
That one.
Oh.
Blah, blah. I didn't kill it. Hold on.
Yep. I can touch the top with my head.
6'4".
Okay, so I put that in there. That is retracting slow.
Okay.
And they'll look at it. If they can fix it, they will. It might just be remove it and adjust the line on it.
And where'd you put the little plastic thing for the refrigerator? In
They
there?
are in here.
Okay.
I put them back in the bag, the owner's manual for the refrigerator.
Okay.
They're in that bag. You've got 2 sets of keys, one here and one here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn off your TV. Now what I'm gonna do
We should probably turn the refrigerator off too.
is I'm gonna put your bags, your remotes and all, right in this top drawer with all the other paraphernalia and advertisements. Top left button will turn that off, and you're all set.
The air conditioner.
Did you hear that snap in? So this TV, when you're going to travel, just push it straight back and snap it in. So it
Let me try it.
Okay, pull it straight out, push it straight back. There you go.
Shut off the air too.
Yeah, that's because you cut the wires. Come over here. Nope, I was going to have you do it. This is your air controls. Just hit that bottom one. Keep hitting until it says off. You'll cycle through.
Here we go.
Auto cool high, heat,
off.
and off. And you just cycle through to what you want, and then use the temperature control. Very similar to the home air.
Yeah.
And home heat. Okay, we're going to be going out. Somebody close. You know what? Why don't we let this young lady here close the slide this time?
Okay.
Right down here, see slide, push in and hold it.
It's going to smash it. There you go. All right. The
Awesome.
ceiling,
Ceiling lights, exterior light.
We got the awning in.
Okay. Now let's.
Yeah, we didn't do the awning out.
Go ahead and go look outside the door. I'm gonna open this for you. Or you know what, sir, you look outside the door.
Are we
you
locked
open
in?
the door.
We're locked in.
That one, yes, sir.
But now we don't want the door to hit the awning, right?
It isn't gonna matter. It should go right over it. Okay, so you watch the awning. Do you want to put it out?
You put it out. I want it.
Hit extend. Now normally you'll hear it, but there's too much noise out there right now. And if you bend down, you'll see it from right down here. Careful next door.
Is it out all the way? Is that far enough?
It's about a foot from that other trailer.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far. You'll hit that other trailer.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you something on the awning. Okay, so that's extend. And then the other button is retract. When your awning is out, the awning is primarily for shade. It's not designed to be out in heavy thunderstorms or whatever. But if you're out and there's a light rain, it's fine. Just come over to this side and hold that down, which changes your angle. All the water will run off instead of puddling in there.
Same thing on the other end?
You can do that on the other end. When you only need to do one side though. When you're done, push it back up so the awning goes in straight. And it does go out about another foot or two, but we don't want to hit that camper.
I can bring it in a little bit for you, Mark.
No, it's all good. I'm just going to pull the awning in. I just want to show them how it works. So go ahead and pull your awning in.
So it just goes straight out a little more.
Yeah, it'll go straight out. And it's very straight until you angle one side or the other. There's a button that says retract. There you go. And you'll pull it in. You'll hear these supports hit the side of the camper and you'll know they're in.
Should I get up there like with a leaf blower and blow it off before we retract?
No, see the way it rolls? Everything will fall off.
Out. Okay. But then, yeah.
You're done? You probably didn't hear the noise because of all the other noise.
Yeah.
But when those supports come back, they go clunk right up against the side. You know you're all the way in.
Okay.
Okay. There's your lights.
Do we need this? Is that something we need?
Nope, that's all yours. Take that with you.
Okay.
Here you go, sir. That's your general RV locations and phone numbers.
So we need the drain from the freshwater tank on the outside.
Yep. I need to figure out where I put that tablet.
Right there.
There is a checklist I have to go over to make sure that I've covered everything with you.
Seems pretty thorough.
Now they're going to drain that one of two ways. There will either be a white plug underneath you pull, or you use those two drains that I showed you earlier. Right here. See that white handle? Right in front of the leaf spring?
Yeah.
Pull that drains your tank.
Oh, that's a big.
That's
It'll come out fast.
That's a big drain, it comes out fast. So when you're done, do your steps. That one flips over, and you grab those and put them in. They kind of fall down in there where they can stay. Some people get a bungee cord, they hook it here, and they feel safer. When you're done,
Lift.
yep,
Locks it in.
now you're ready for towing. You're going to want to make sure that all your stabilizers are up. So before you go towing, you're going to do a last walk. You're going to say, okay, my stabilizers are up, my door's closed, my steps are in. Oh, I didn't unhook my power.
Oh,
the last
no.
thing you want to do is have a tail going down the
No,
road.
you wouldn't want that.
You know, $100 tail because it's going to have to be replaced. So you're going to unscrew that and throw it into your storage. And then if you came around and you saw that you had your drain still hooked up, you can undo it and put it in storage. So one last walk, ending at your hitch, looking down, making sure all that's hooked up right, get in the truck and go.
Chocks or whatever.
Yeah, you'll get the chocks and all out. Those come in your kit. We're going to go get that right now. I'm going to introduce you to our parts and service departments.
And then we'll have to have a lesson on hooking the trailer up to the truck.
These gentlemen are experts on it, and they're going to show you that before you leave.
Okay, and
So
then
we
we
want to get these screens.
Yep. We'll take care of all that when we get over the parts.
camera.
So what I have to do now is I got to go through my checklist that I covered everything with you basically.
Oh, can I ask one more question?
No, ma'am, you've hit your limit. That's
Oh,
it. We're done.
dang.
Go ahead.
So it's supposed to be solar ready,
Right.
and we were really thinking about getting a small solar panel.
Okay.
Does that sit on top,
That goes right on top of the roof.
and we take it up and down? or
No.
It stays.
It's pre-wired for solar. You buy the panel, They plug it in onto the roof, and then they bolt it in on the preset places where it would bolt in. Now the solar panels are not designed to run everything. You're not going to run your air, you're not going to run your TV, all that. It's basically to charge your 12-volt battery so that you can run the lights and you can run the slides and all of that off the solar.
Okay.
Actually, you're running all that off the battery, and then the solar keeps the battery charged.
So we've noticed, like we went to a camping store and they have all different sizes of solar panels, different numbers.
Yeah, you're not going to buy one of those.
Okay.
Because what happens is you want to get the one designed to go on this Grand Design RV from General RV or from an RV center that sells the one designed for this. Because if you do, say you go to a camping store, Dick's Sporting Goods, and they say, oh yeah, we got solar that works on that. What they're doing is they're going to rig it up versus plug and play.
So when we talk to whoever about the backup camera, we want to talk about the solar panels.
Well, I just happen to be an employee of the parts department and can discuss all of that with you.
Cool.
Do you use the solar panels?
No, I've never used a solar panel. I never saw a need for a solar panel. So when it's hooked to your truck, keep in mind your truck's charging that battery.
Yeah, all it does is charge. I guess if you're boondocking or
When
something
you're
like that.
boondocking, what's running off that battery? Your LED lights. That doesn't take much. You're going to run this for a minute. That takes a lot, so leave it hooked to your truck while you're running this out, and then you don't have to worry about draining your battery down. That battery will run these LED lights for like a week. What else is
The refrigerator.
Running? The refrigerator's running on propane.
Oh.
So the only thing you're really running is your radio and your LED lights off of the battery. That radio and those LED lights will run probably a week or so off of that battery because they don't draw any power. That's why it's good that everything's LED nowadays.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you can get solar, it's expensive, and you'll probably use it so you can say, cool, look at my solar, and then, I don't know, 6 months down the road, you're like, you know, we shouldn't have wasted that money. And
what do they run? A couple $100?
No, you're looking like $1,500.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But we do want backup camera.
Now you can get the bit, you can get a couple of panels and all, and you can spend thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
But just a one-panel solar system, by the time you pay the labor to have it put on, is about $1,500.
Even though it's wired.
Did these just pull out?
I work in the parts department, and they'll pay me a commission if you buy it, and I'm telling you, you're wasting your money. Sir?
Does that just pull out?
Yep, just grab it and pull hard. You can do it!
I did it!